had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So then I'm doing IT, and when I go to plug the servers in, they become sentient, and they won't let us access our network unless we forward their chain emails and memes to more and more and more people, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant finds and invites best fit candidates to apply, so you can discover talent you may have missed. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
The Subaru Share the Love event is on from November 20th to January 2nd. For 18 years, Subaru and its retailers have supported over 2,700 local charities through the Share the Love event. When you purchase or lease a new vehicle during the 2025 Subaru Share the Love event, Subaru and its retailers will make a minimum $300 donation to charity. Visit Subaru.com/share to learn more.
We continue on with the Coaching Coordinator Network Best of 2025 series. This episode is part of the Coaching Coordinator Network Best of 2025 series, revisiting conversations that delivered clear, usable ideas for coaches. On Your Call, we sit down with Patrick Daberkow, head coach at Concordia, Nebraska, and co-founder of the Headset app, to break down his dog ball scoring system. Coach Daberkow explains how he built, tested, and refined a practice competition model that keeps team periods competitive, rewards the right behaviors, and avoids runaway scores. He also shares how clear, efficient communication in practice allows competition systems like this to work at full speed. This Best of 2025 episode is paired with the Coaching Coordinator AI Companion, where you can learn and explore how to think through and design your own scoring system using Coach Daberkow's principles. Be sure to check out our partner, the Headset app, for the best game day and practice communication, all right on your phone. Here's the episode with Coach Daberkow.
The Headset app, a communication platform for coaches that makes sense. After all the technology we need is already in our pocket. No more time-consuming setup, lugging around cases, storing equipment, worrying about range, or finding the right location for your base station. The Headset app is an encrypted voice platform that is compatible with any Bluetooth headset or earbuds. The Headset app is a more secure, reliable, and easy-to-use communication system, delivered at just a fraction of the cost. Just open the app, put in your headphones, and go. At practice, on game day, or whenever. The Headset app. Download in the App Store or on Google Play today.
We're back for another episode of Your Call presented by the Headset app. And today we got a special guest, one of the founders of the Headset app, Patrick Daberkow, who's also the head coach at Concordia, Nebraska. Coach, always great to have you here.
It's always great to be on. Appreciate you having me, Keith.
So today we're going to talk about a scoring system that coaches could use right now, in preseason for inter-squad scrimmages, but I think this could be carried out throughout the year, or anytime you might go into a good-on-good period and really raise the level of competition. And it's what you call your dog ball scoring system. And we're also going to talk a little bit how you use the Headset app to integrate this as well. So tell us about your dog ball scoring system.
Yeah, well, at Concordia University, we're trying to up the competition. And so when you have day after day, guys going against each other for the same day, seeing the same colored jerseys every day, think of fall camp, think of spring ball, it tends to get chippy. One way to kind of make sure that we're keeping things competitive and keeping things fiery, we came up with the scoring system. We tweaked it. I have a friend, Nick, who's really big on build, test, learn. We built this out, we tested it, and then we've adjusted it, and you'll learn from it, and then you make tweaks. And we tweaked it enough over the last 3 or 4 years that we really feel like we've landed on something that works. And I can just tell our equipment staff now, hey, we're doing dog ball scoring for the scrimmage session, or when we go to team 3, we're going to go dog ball scoring. And so they just put it up on the scoreboard, and it adds a little intensity to practice and definitely helps with the competitive nature of what we're trying to accomplish.
So, Coach, let's go over dog ball scoring and exactly how that works and creates this competitive environment.
Yeah, so it's a system that gives the defense points and merits points for the defense, and then also incentivizes putting together drives for the offense. So here's how we score it. Offense can score two ways. They can score via touchdown or via first down. But we make touchdowns worth 4 points and we make first downs worth 1 point. And so as we've done this, we found that 6 points was too many and 7 points was too many. And so we did 4 points for offense for touchdowns and then 1 point for every first down. And then on defense, if the defense scores, they get the touchdown. They get 6 points for a touchdown. They can get 3 points for a turnover. If they get a 3 and out, they get 3 points. And every time they force the offense into a fourth down, we give them a point for that. Whether the offense converts it or not, the defense will get a point every time they force a fourth down for the offense. And so through tweaking this over the years, the last few years, we really feel like we've gotten this kind of down to a science, and the scores end up being incredibly competitive. We just did this scrimmage on Friday. We had an inter squad, and I think the score was 27-32 by the end of the scrimmage. And that's with all the groups. You know, you might run group 1s versus 1s and 3s versus 3s. And, you know, it has held up for us over the years and has really added to the competitive nature of our scrimmage situations.
Well, I know you've looked at the special teams side too, and you guys have built in some dog ball scoring for special teams. Tell us about that.
Yeah, when we did our spring scrimmage, we wanted to incentivize that using special teams. So instead of offense going for it on fourth down every time, we made it so that if we had a punt that landed, and during scrimmages, we just did our punts on air during the spring. But if the punt lands inside the 15-yard line, it's worth 2 points. And then every time we go out for a field goal, because our quarterbacks coach loves just going for it on fourth down, but we let the players make the decisions on whether to go for it on fourth down or not, and or whether to kick a field goal. And so we put it on them, and we wanted to incentivize them to utilize their teammates who are kicking. And so we made field goals. We call them super field goals. We had 3 kickers. If one kicker made it, it was worth 1 point. If 2 kickers made it, it was worth 3 points. And if all 3 kickers made it, we made it worth 5 points. That way we can incorporate them more. And then for extra points, we had them. The only way you can score extra points is with our field goal unit. And we had all 3 kickers had to make it. We had to be 100% with all 3 for it to count as a point. And if you wanted to go for 2, you had to do it from the 20 or the 25 or whatever would challenge your kickers. And so that's how we did our scoring, to kind of incorporate special teams along with the offense and the defense being able to score. And I think the big thing too is letting your players make those decisions, kind of see where their head's at on some of these things. And it's been a really fun way to kind of up the ante a little bit at practice.
Now, you mentioned to me before we got going that you have a way to incorporate the punters too. You don't want to leave those guys out.
Yeah. That being able to drop it inside and do a coffin corner, we always want them involved, and we want them to be part of that. So that's why we make that worth 2 points anytime we drop one inside the 15-yard line, and that has definitely helped get the whole team involved.
Now, you've talked about build, test, learn, and what is it you've learned from doing this? What do you see as the biggest advantages for somebody who takes an inter squad or takes a team period and incorporates this scoring?
Yeah, I think it just adds a little juice to your practice. You know, especially when you get into week 2 of fall camp or you're in your 3rd week of spring ball, it prevents things from getting stale. It definitely helps up the ante as far as the competitiveness goes. Anytime I think you have lights on the scoreboard, I think it helps. And so it's been something that, you know, we've tweaked and refined and built, test and learned and come up with this scoring system. And typically ends in a really close score because touchdowns are worth 4 and offense has to earn it and defense is incentivized to score. It typically has ended in a pretty close matchup for us. And it comes down to the last series of the scrimmage or the team period. And it's proved out time and time again for us. There's no rules to this game, right? We can do whatever we want as coaches and tweak it however it fits your program. But for our program, it's been something that's really added to our practices, and I felt like has helped with, you know, sometimes getting stuck in the monotony of camp mode.
Yeah, the other time of the year where I think you can hit a little bit of a lull is the bye week. I think something like this and incorporating this different points in the bye week is just going to create that competitive nature and keep these guys on point. They're used to a test on Friday night or Saturday, and this will give them something during the week to keep the juices flowing.
Yeah, it's fun to mix it up. When we go to our bye week, we also play this golf game, and I'm sure everybody's got different versions of it, but you have to use one kicker, you have to use one quarterback, and then you have to use an offensive lineman, like a putter or a driver or an iron, and you just put, you know, one of your defensive line trash cans wherever you want in your stadium, and you mix it up, and that's been a fun way that we've kind of incorporated into our bye week as well. And we did coaches versus players, and it's been a fun way to kind of mix it up and make sure you get all the position groups involved.
Yeah, that was something I did at BW every Thursday before practice was cans with the quarterbacks. And then all of a sudden, you know, we'd have a guy here or there. Hey, coach, can I get in this? Let me show you. Let me throw one. And they'd throw one. I'm like, okay, every week we'll incorporate one non-quarterback into this competition. So, the big guys love to do stuff like that.
Yeah. Every big guy on our roster is the world's best fullback if they ever just got a shot. And to give them a shot at throwing the football and proving their worth as a quarterback is always something that's kind of fun.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I know the other part of this, and really to help you be efficient in practice, is what you've developed in the headset app. And the headset app obviously is a great tool on game day, but I know a lot of coaches like to use those communication systems in practice. We always like to do it. Now I could say like the hard part was the part we hate, lugging out those cases, making sure they're charged. If somebody forgot to plug it in after practice or it didn't, take a charge, or we had power go out and it didn't charge, then you lose it for that practice. Now, the headset app, to me, solves a ton of communication problems and a ton of budget problems, too. Would love to hear about how you guys are using it in practice and how this has really helped coaches, even at this time of the year when you think, it's too late to get something like this.
Yeah, no, for us, it's been really good. You have the setup and the teardown, designating a guy to spend time doing that. One thing that we've been able to do since using the headset app is we put an earbud in our ear every time we go to scrimmage mode, anytime we go to team period. As the head coach, I stand behind our defensive scout team, and most people have AirPods or earbuds and a smartphone available. I just stick it in my pocket. And then when we get to that period, I hop on the app. I go to our offensive channel. It takes approximately 5 seconds to do that. And then I know that when we have a motion or a wrinkle in, I can help get the scout team coordinated to where they need to be. If somebody goes in motion, I can just stand behind the safety and say, hey, we're going to roll. He's going to motion him. I want you to roll. And then Johnny roll back. And I can just kind of quarterback things from back. We run an up-tempo offense. We get a ton of reps. Every 10 minutes, we're getting close to 30 reps during our team periods. It's something we take a ton of pride in, and we script out 24 of them, and then we just let it rip for the last 6. And it's been something that we have been able to go a lot faster at practice just because we're not flipping through scout cards and doing things like that. That's one major way. A lot of our coaches, some of them were apprehensive about wearing AirPods on the sideline. I'm not really apprehensive about that. Apple's put so many millions of dollars into their R&D. It's what I found is the best thing out there. I know more about trucker and gamer headsets than any small college coach in America, just because we've been, using the headset app. And so we have all these different headsets that look, indistinguishable from anything that any other coaches would be wearing on the sideline. And so we've tested a lot of different headsets. For me, it's just AirPods. I just wear AirPods. Some of our guys wear Beats. But yeah, we use it every day at practice, every home game, every away game. And we got teams in every state now at a ton of different levels using it. And so it's been fun to see that grow.
Yeah, the noise canceling part of that is huge, and it is very good. Like, I was on a call with Jamie Elizondo, who's been on the podcast, former NFL, CFL head coach, and we get towards the end of the call. He's like, did you hear anything? I'm like, hearing you what? He goes, I was mowing my lawn the entire call. I was like, oh my God, game changer. Now I can take meetings, while I'm mowing my lawn and getting something else done. But that's the beauty of these things, is it's not picking up all the noise. It is very clear communication and really easy too. I mean, I know we all like to look cool with our headsets on, but I think the communication is the most important part. I mean, the ability to get another coach on your system, I think, is huge. Anytime I wanted to do that, it was always 4 figures of, it's going to cost you, $1,000 something to add this headset. I mean, man, this is a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, it's been really kind of cool to see that to save for a lot of programs, because with the cost of helmets and shoulder pads and everything going up, I think the $400 for a helmet now, you can spend more than $300 on shoulder pads. We really want to avoid becoming a country club sport. I think it's really important that we try and be efficient with our budgets and with our finances. And so for the headset app, it's designed by a small college coach. And so the pricing structure, we want to be sensitive to all that. So we have high school programs that use us, and they might buy 10 licenses, but they might have 25 coaches between their freshmen, their JV, and their varsity, and even their junior high. And then whoever the team owner is, typically the head coach, they can just toggle the 10 that they want on for that day. They just toggle those licenses on or off. So you don't have to pay for more than you need. It's a monthly subscription service for $20 per coach. It's only during the season, and there's a heavy incentive. I think there's a pretty deep discount. I don't know what it is off the top of my head to do an annual membership, but really, most teams just use it during the season, and then they pause the subscription and pick it back up during spring ball. But it's been great for us for practice and for every game day, home and away the last 2 years, not just for us, but for over 250 football programs last season joined on in our second year in existence. And so we anticipate that number will continue to grow. It's been a fun thing to kind of see take off. I'm a football coach, and so I just want to do that. So my friend Nick Top rolled on full time. He's our CEO now, and he's managing things, and Mason does our chief architecture. And so we have and just elite developers there in Lincoln, Nebraska, that have really done a phenomenal job in developing the app and making it easy to use for coaches.
Yeah, I know in looking at, our expensive headset systems, we would never think allowing those out to a JV or freshman game.
Yeah.
We wouldn't do it, right? Because what if it breaks during the week and then we got to send it back, and then, there's that whole process, which is crazy. But now with something like this, like you said, toggling guys on and off, your freshman staff or your even junior high staff, they could have this and utilize this, and they themselves be more efficient on game day, even if they don't go up in the box. I mean, shouting down the sideline is not always the best thing on game day.
Yeah, and you can stand inside the coach's box and get, if your offensive line coach wants to stand far back so he can get a good angle on, the offensive line, almost like an end zone view while it's happening. I think that's incredibly helpful. The other thing that we've noticed is if you only use headsets on game days, there are a ton of mechanics that first week you're working out a ton of kinks between, hey, we designated this guy to look for this, and then you get to Sunday after the game, you're going, what happened? Where did we go wrong here? Where did we miss this? But it's the first time you've ever done it, and so it really allows us to, we'll send coaches up into the box, even at practice and scrimmages from time to time, up into the stadium so that they can practice looking at what they're going to look at on game day. And since it's just as easy as just popping an earbud in your ear, it's not a cumbersome task to do that. And so that's been another added benefit. We practice our game day mechanics for communication, and it's been really helpful.
Yeah, I think that the beauty of this too is if somebody is listening to this right now and wants to get started with it today, they simply go to the App Store, download this, and they could be up and running, in minutes. They don't necessarily need to communicate with you guys to get turned on or do anything like that.
Yeah, you don't have to enter a credit card or anything. There's a free 5-day trial. We just want people using it. I'm a football coach just trying to make things make sense. Didn't make sense to have to spend 5 figures just to talk to my staff on game days.
Well, Coach, I love what you've done with the headset app. Obviously, love what you're doing out there in Nebraska as well. And just want to wish you and your staff and the headset app staff the best of luck here in 2025.
Awesome. I appreciate having me on, Keith.
Dog ball scoring stands out because it is intentional. It rewards process, keeps scores close, and creates decision pressure that carries into games. Coach Daberkow's approach reinforces that competition systems are tools, not templates. They must be built, tested, and adjusted to fit your program. To go deeper, you can use the Coaching Coordinator AI Companion to think through and design your own practice scoring system while staying grounded in Coach Daberkow's framework. And if you want your practice and game day communication to match the speed and clarity Coach Daberkow describes, explore the headset app. It simplifies setup, lowers cost barriers, and helps staffs communicate clearly when it matters most. The link to the headset app is in the show notes.